Hey everyone, welcome back to Drawbridge Finance. My name is Levi Woods, and I do not work in the financial industry, and I am not offering financial advice. I am, however, a longtime investor, and I wanted to share with you some ideas on how to help educate yourself. One of the free tools that I use on a daily basis is Google Finance. I love it. It's super powerful for researching whatever kind of stocks or mutual funds or whatever you might want to invest in. If I can't find something on Google Finance, I usually don't buy it. That's one of my own rules. I just wanted to show you guys how Google Finance works and just give you a basic overview of how I have some of my chart settings and how I look at my news feed so you can see what I'm looking at. So first thing we're going to do is actually go over to Google Finance, type in finance. Immediately it comes up Google Finance. I can click on here, and I'm going to the google.ca because I'm up in Canada, but I could go down to google.com if I wanted. Once I'm actually at Google Finance, this comes up with a market summary, and we can see we're in the markets section over here on the left. I'm going to start up at the search bar right at the top of the screen. We need to be able to search for something. Now the search bar for regular Google, the financial one, works a little bit differently. What it's trying to do is actually come up with a ticker or the symbol, which is like a unique ID for each stock or mutual fund that you're trying to purchase. If I start to type in something, you'll see that it pulls up portions of the ticker. These on the left are the tickers that it's coming up with. I'm not actually going to find a ticker right now. I'm going to actually type in the whole word of Google. And you're going to see that as I get there, it no longer can find the ticker that it's looking for. It goes to this secondary search, and it tries to find the actual stock name. Click on the search button, and you're going to see that it loads up the actual stock. So now it's showing me Alphabet Inc., which is the Google parent company. We're kind of looking at this middle section of the screen, and this is the details about this particular stock. So starting at the top, we've got the name, and then we have this portion right here, which is the exchange that it trades on, and then this is the ticker or the symbol. Then the next thing, this big number that we see, is the actual price. As we're looking at it, it's showing it in real time. It says it's 10:52 a.m. This number is actually going to change, and so there it just changed now. And you can see if it's green, it's going up, and if it's red, it's going down. Then this plus portion is the price change from the previous close. What it's saying is that it's up 41 cents or 0.05% from yesterday's close. That's an indicator of what the price movement is. It also says here currency in US dollars. And then there's a couple details here. So this shows the trading range for the day. This is the lowest price it's been, 8.38, and then the upper price has been 8.44. So you can see that Google actually has like a $6 range today. Over the last year, it's had a down as low as $672 and up as $874. Today's open price was $842, so we're trading a little bit lower than the open price right now. So far today, we've traded just under 500,000 shares, and the normal daily trading volume is 1.3 million shares. This is the market capacity. This is how many shares are outstanding. So 566 billion shares are available for purchase. Price to earnings. This is getting into some complex figurings, but you can highlight over each of these little things, and these are the details about the stock. Now, what are the things that I like to look at when I'm purchasing stocks? One of the most important things is right here, this dividend yield. Google doesn't actually pay a dividend, so that was one of the reasons I wanted to show you guys this right away. And then we'll look at some stocks that do trade a dividend and how useful they can be and how to look at the chart that way. Moving down, here's the chart. I have some settings set up so that it defaults to 3 months. The blue line is the stock price from January, February, and March of this year. If I click on the 3 month, it won't change very much, but that's the 3 month chart that we're looking at. Then we could look at the 1 day. So this will show us what the trading price has been today. So this is related to the range that we're seeing up here, the 838 to 844. You can see what time of day it was and what the stock's actually doing. Now, I am not a day trader, so I am not looking at like the 1 day or the 5 day. Oftentimes I'm looking at the 3 month is what my default is. Then I look at the 6 month. And then I skip over to the 1 year. So that's the price of the stock over the last year and the price of the stock over the last 5 years. And you can see that Google is a growing company. You can see that this blue line is going up. And you'll also notice that I have some red and green lines on here. And what those are is it's actually showing you the simple moving average, which is the average price over the last 50 days in red and the average price over the last 200 days in green. And as I scroll over the chart, I can actually see any of the individual prices. So I can look here, it says December 11th. If I hover over that, it actually tells you the price was, what the moving average was on that particular day. So you can go through time and kind of scrub back and forth. You can also adjust the chart down here by just moving this timeline so that you can look at a specific 2-month period if you want, or 1 year, and you can scroll along as well. And it kind of auto adjusts. Oftentimes I just look at the 3-month, 6-month, and then, you have to look back in time to see what a stock's doing. So that's how you change your stock look. Now let's scroll down a little bit further down the page. Now we're still looking at this center section and trying to ignore the ads that are popping up at the side. And this next section is related companies. So this will show you companies that are similar to Google that also trade. So we've got like Yahoo on here and Microsoft. And this is a good thing if you're trying to compare companies. You can actually just click right on those. If you like one investment company and you're looking for a similar investment, you can just click. It kind of gives you ideas of other things that might be performing similarly. The next thing we're going to look at is the description of the company. So it tells you a little bit about the company, and it tells you who the officers are. So you can read that. It also has links on the right-hand side. We've got website links, external links, an address, and some key stats and ratios. Pretty much everything you need to know about the stock is right here on this one page. And most importantly, I think the stuff at the top is important, and the dividend yield being like the most important thing in my mind, because I'm a dividend investor. So let's take a look at another stock, and I'm going to look at a bank. You guys know that I like to look at bank stocks. So I'm going to pull up CIBC. One of the things you'll notice is because this is looking for tickers, if I type in CIBC, it actually is coming up with mutual funds. These MUT is a mutual fund, and then _Canada. When I click on the search button this time, it's going to give me a list of different stocks that are available. So here's the company stocks at the top, and you can see we've got 2 different ones. Basically, CIBC is a large company, so they have an American ticker that trades on the New York Stock Exchange, and they have a Canadian ticker which trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange. If I was Canadian, I would want to buy on the Canadian stock market, and if I was American, I would want to buy on the American stock market. The reason for that is because the dividends that they pay out get affected differently in your taxes. We could talk about that in a different video. What I'm going to look at is we're going to just scroll down this page, and we're going to see other things that are related to CIBC. And you can see here that they have all of the mutual funds that CIBC offer are actually here on this page. So you can look up, the CIBC Canadian bond by the ticker number. So this is the ticker, the CIB 476. You can actually look at all that information if you delve into it. What we're going to take a look at is the actual CIBC stock. We're going to look at the dividend. One of the first things we come up with, we've got the price 116.16, and this one does pay a dividend. So I want you guys to focus on this line for a second. We can see that this pays a dividend of $1.27. So this first number is in dollar amount. The second number is a percentage. That $1.27 dividend, this works out related to the stock price of $116 to 4.37%. If we look at the 1-year chart on this, you can see this little blue D on the chart, and it shows you what day the dividend paid out. So you can see that it paid out $1.21 on June 24th of last year. Then again, $1.21. But you can see that this is $1.27, which means that this last one over here will be $1.27. This dollar number 127 is always the last dividend payout. Also, what we can see is that dividends that were paid in the last 12 months added together, divided by the share price, give you the percentage of how much it paid out in the last 12 months. So that's how it's calculating out that percentage. Below this chart, you're actually seeing the volume. So this is showing you the amount of shares that were traded. And if there was any abnormal trading activity, you can see where there's a large number of shares traded hands with these spikes that appear. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to look at one more stock. What it's going to be is Boston Pizza, one of my favorites. Just to show you guys. Here it comes up in this secondary search. It's showing the Boston highlighted and Boston Pizza Royalties Income Fund trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And here's the ticker BPF.UN. That's the one I want. So I'm going to click on that, and let's take a look at what this is. So again, my chart is set up on this 3-month zoom. So that's what it's showing the last January, February, and March prices. I want to show you some of the settings that I have to make this chart work the way that it does. Because if we look at a 6-month chart, you can see the little dividends that it's paid out. It's paid out 6 dividends in the last 6 months. And on the 1-year chart, it's paid out 12 dividends on the last year. It pays out monthly. What I like to look at is when I want to make a purchase, I want to make sure that I'm getting it for a fair price. So I have these settings set up so that I can see what's going on. So let's click down here below the chart and look at the settings category. This is how I have mine set up. I have the dividends highlighted, so that's showing that these blue marks. It's showing splits. Now there's no share splits in here, but they would show as a little green mark, and it would have a little number indicating whether it was a split 2-to-1 or 7-to-1, whatever it is. The volume, this would turn this portion of the chart on or off. And then vertical scale is linear, and I have this as a line chart because that's really easy for me to read. I'm not a day trader, but you could easily switch to candlestick mode. And if you were, you can see that the time frame changes drastically. It goes down to this like 2-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute. And this is really for people that are trading on a minute-to-minute basis. So you can look at the price of the stock as it's gone through today, and you can decide when you're going to make your trades. I totally am not that type of trader, so I'm going to go back to line chart, and then we're going to look at the default zoom, which is 3 months. Now you can set this however you want. I just like to look at 3 months. It's kind of a good indicator for me. The next thing we're going to look at is the technicals. Now this is the part that took me a little while to figure out what I actually needed in here, but these are the settings that I use. So I have simple moving averages. There's a whole bunch of choices in here. You can set up these lines, but I have a simple moving average that shows a 50-day period and a 200-day period. And you can add more. Unfortunately, Google doesn't allow you right now to have an exponential on the same time as a simple. So if I click the exponential on, it'll actually turn off the simple. So it's a bit unfortunate. So I do use the exponential or moving average, but I have to use it and turn off those other two. So this is how I have mine set up, is the 50 and the 200-day. So what that is it's showing you these green and red lines. Then you can use that as an indicator. So you can look back at the 1-year chart. You know, the blue line goes up and down quite a bit, but the average line is kind of growing quite nicely. So these are the type of stocks that I want to buy. I use the green and the red lines, and I want to make sure that I'm always buying at a time when that blue line passes down underneath that green line. So by having the green and red lines there all the time, it gives me a good indication of when is a good price to get into this stock. Although these are long-term holdings and I am buying them for the dividends, sometimes I want to up my position, so I want to buy a little bit more. So I can kind of plan out when I want to purchase these. And if we were looking at this and the blue line was quite a bit above the green line, it might not be such a good time to buy. The next thing we're going to look at is the news section. There's two different settings here. You can have it by relevance or by date, and I have mine set by date, so it basically shows the newest news as it comes out. You know, because I'm a dividend investor, the ones that I look at here are often these distributions. We can click on this and it'll take us to the article, and it'll give us an idea of what the article might be. And this one's pretty typical for a lot of the things that I invest in. Basically shows that Boston Pizza has announced a cash distribution of 11.5 cents for February 17th. So we know that coming next month, there's going to be a dividend payout. So let's just sit back here. People advertising, trying to get you to subscribe to the Motley Fool. They're trying to create your own passive income empire with these monthly dividends. And obviously, Boston Pizza is a good company. They've been around a long time, and they pay a decent dividend at 6.3% annually. So, and they have value growth in their stock. So when you look at this, it's a really good company to buy. And of course, companies like the Motley Fool are going to use these companies as an indicator of how to make money with their long-term finance plan. And they want you to click on this and then eventually sign up for their email or everything. That's exactly why I don't offer anything like that. I don't even have a site. I just have my YouTube page. So if you guys are enjoying my videos, please like the videos, share the videos with everybody that you know, so that we can help people increase their wealth through education. Hopefully this has been interesting. If you guys have any specific questions about anything, please put them in the comments below. Or if you want to know something specific about investing and that you have a question about, put that in the comments as well. And then I will try to make a video on those specific things to give you guys the answers that you need. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get rich together.